All right, one card to the bottom for Yasu. We're ready to go.
Yep. Yep.
Turn 1 Ponder for Roland. We're going. We're underway. Cantripping. Yeah, it's a Ponder shuffle. We actually, Yasu wasn't there, but we were talking about Yasu in the shop one day. Yasu's been mostly playing Breakfast. Of those of you who've been watching the channel may have noticed. But in the past, Yasu's played a lot of Fair Blue Control, Grixis, Sultai, Check Pile stuff, Strifo Pile, that sort of thing, if you're familiar. And for this particular event, trying out a Beans deck, I believe. I did not play against Yasu at this event. I don't know the full contents of the deck. We're going to find out together. That's a basic island.
I'll cast Ponder.
Draw.
There you go.
Aviator says beans are the best fruit I've heard. Magical. Aviator with a beautiful gifter badge. Wait, are beans considered fruit? No, right? They're legumes. They're, Why am I confused? Dr. Pepper arrived in the chat. Thank you for the happy affiliate anniversary messages in the chat. We did surpass our affiliate anniversary now, and I guess Twitch is celebrating. So Roland cantripping now. This is the gameplay, the play patterns that Magic players who play Legacy wanted back. Cantripping for the first few turns, just kind of waiting around. I'll shuffle. I'll fetch. This is what they wanted. What about the play pattern? Is control viable? All right, now another shuffle. Blue Delta gets correct. Finds a volcanic island. Legacy players have been, for the past 365 days, experiencing some ups and downs in the Legacy format. We had it sounds insane saying this now, but we had the Beanstalk as the main villain of the format. Then it was the Sticker Goblin. Then it was Grief. Then what about the Frog? Then the Mecha Spawn. Vexing Bobble was in the mix at some point over there. Now things have kind of settled a bit post-ban of the Mecha Spawn and the Troll. How are people feeling? How's everybody feeling about Legacy right now? Does anybody have thoughts, feelings they want to share with the class? Dragon's Rage Channeler on the board now for Roland. An absolutely fire new Secret Lair Dragon's Rage Channeler was previewed the other day. Did you see that one? Aviator says I want to be able to play it more. Tail says, as a Beans player, love the format. So many interesting decks. All right, good reviews coming in. Aspiring Spike, thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. There's a lot of you. We're just getting started. Tabletop Legacy. Hit follow if that's your jam. And if not, welcome. This is an event in New York City. Roland Chang, two-time Eternal Weekend champion, against one of our local friends, Yasu, Beans versus Temur. And thank you for the happy affiliate anniversary messages as well. We just surpassed our affiliate 5-year anniversary. I can't believe it.
Okay.
We've been doing this for too long, maybe. All right, so in Island Cycling of Lorien Revealed, our modern friends are aware of the Lord of the Rings land cyclers. We just had Troll of Khazad-dûm banned. When like people who strictly play Modern hear that Troll of Khazad-dûm was banned, what do they think? Like, do they think we're nuts?
Yep. I'll leave that up.
Event we're watching right now is from Monday Night Legacy. We get average 25 players at these events. This is not competitive REL or anything like that. It's just a FNM level event. But we do cover some competitive events on this channel. We have a YouTube channel, which you can also check out. We have a gigantic library of Legacy events from the FNM level all the way up to SCG. Up the Beanstalk. This card is hot right now in Legacy.
Go.
Delirious, Dragon's Rage Channeler gets in there. Fearside says it's an enabler, a payoff, and somehow also a land. Makes sense to me on the troll. Crazy says no, but as a Legacy player, I think we are nuts. You know what? I kind of agree. From under the floorboard with an interesting comment. As someone who doesn't play much Legacy, I do wonder why the Reanimator decks don't just play Oliphant. So the troll looking for a swamp was relevant in a lot of situations to find removal, mana for removal and stuff like that to kill, let's say, a Magus of the Moon or something. It being black at some points, pitching to Grief, pitching to Unmask was relevant. It just like worked really well, and then it was super evasive and couldn't bolt it, and the troll was just really good. Yeah, it's just a much better creature than the Oliphant.
Brainstorm.
So we're deep into this game. Roland's been chipping away at the life total, just the Beanstalk on Yasu's side. As the game goes long, drawing cards off Beanstalk, starting to slam spells like Leyline Binding. Roland might fall behind. We're going to see how this goes. Roland drops... Yasu drops to 6. Confuse our names for a moment. Mr. Rainforest getting correct.
Take the one ring.
Our local events are no proxy. They're all sanctioned. Thank you again for the happy affiliate anniversary. If you're new around here, we just passed 5 years as an affiliate on Twitch. Approximately this month to last month. Leyline Binding.
Turn on the stack.
I'm gonna waste you, and then I'm gonna push the boy.
Push twice, right? Yeah.
So you go. 2.
All right, Roland has fetched twice here. A little bit of shortcutting happening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I go to.
Double Volk.
Force of negation. It's a relative.
All right, Roland has announced a Force of Negation on Leyline Binding and a Surveil trigger.
7.
Island? Yeah, it's Island. 3 cards in hand?
So you go.
3 cards. Force targeting the Force of negation, Beanstalk trigger. Pitching trigger.
Okay, Force of Will, pitching to Fairy Time Raveler, Beanstalk trigger here, trying to protect this Leyline Binding. which is still in the stack. Yasu is tapped out. Okay, force pitching Murktide, another Surveil trigger.
So you already gave me for the other fetches?
Yeah.
I'll also fetch.
Leaving it on top.
Beanstalk trigger from force?
Yeah.
Force negation resolves Beanstalk trigger? From the force casting the big blade.
Yeah.
I'll take 3.
Take 3, you're done. 2.
Oh,
I think Leyline Binding was supposed to get exiled there. I kind of maybe lost track, but Yasu in some trouble here. Down to 2 life, fight on the stack, and the Leyline Binding did not succeed. Yasu did draw 2 cards there. Mystic Sanctuary unfortunately enters tap, the Savannah looking a little sad. All right, found the swords, removed the Dragon's Range Chandler, still in bolt range though. That is Tamio, Inquisitive Student.
I'll hit you for 9.
Yep.
I'll play a fetch. I'll go to 8.
Lightning Bolt could be pretty good here.
Island. I'm just gonna cast Pernicious Deed. And then I'll say go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What was the timing on that swords? Should there be a white land tapped? that might be a goof. Might have totally forgot to pay for it.
Yeah, it's kind of a red.
I don't think we're gonna see Fork Bolt, but you never know. Here's Murktide though. This card is crazy. Have you seen this card?
What'd you? Your turn 1 was Fable. My hand was kind of risky too. It like needed to untap with the ability to play 1-mana spell.
Is Murktide still a top deck in Modern?
No. So when you went Fable, I'm like, okay, I can like hopefully mana denial him and then go from there.
Okay, Hedge Maze, Surveil. Okay, it's still a top deck.
Split pitch.
I'll keep it.
That's why when I pushed that one, I was like, okay.
Left it on top. Interesting.
Leyline binding.
Leyline Binding, not too bad. Trigger the Beans. Exile Murktide. Yasu's still at that scary low life total, but could be starting to stabilize, attacking with Tamio. Excuse me, making a clue. Flooded Strand gets cracked here. Snide says, I like the format of your content. Chill and attentive. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Wait, wasn't I just dead if you invoke the Fury?
Raise your hand if you're having fun.
I don't think
The tokens don't have haste.
Do we have anyone watching that's bored right now?
I didn't. No, I tapped out. You could just invoke the Fury. Copy
Some people are bored.
There you go.
That's swing.
Thundering Fall, Surveil.
Well, no, I guess that maybe.
I wasn't even trying to think of killing all of them, so just stay alive.
Break says, I'm working, and this is the perfect second monitor content. To put us on the first monitor, come on.
That's smart. Because that way,
Second monitor.
On to.
Roland Pondering knows that Lightning Bolt could be a knockout punch here. Potentially. Ponder Shuffle. Yasu has a clue. Yasu has Tamio, Beanstalk.
It's good.
There's a creature, Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Draw.
Yasu kind of both acknowledges that it resolves and acknowledges that it's good at the same time. Uh-oh. Up the Beanstalk, accidentally revealing an Endurance, it looked like. Second Beanstalk, rolling out of cards in hand. Oh boy, Uro.
I cannot believe what I am seeing.
All right, a reaction here from Roland and maybe from a spectator. Roland is scooping to Uro. Yeah. I kind of agree.
Yeah, you were digging for your bull, I was digging for a
I had
Yasu points out you were digging for Bolt. I was digging for Uro. Yasu won. Break says I love beans. Aviator says go beans.
at least.
That place is
I'll
awesome.
take the place.
There you go.
Yeah, it's fine. 100%. Yeah, send Dom that one. I'll keep it.
Thank you, everybody that came in from the raid and slammed the follow button. Welcome to the family.
Sure.
Join our Discord community. Link just shared in the chat. We have one of the largest Magic the Gathering Discords at this point. Especially one dedicated to 1v1 Eternal and non-rotating play. Come hang out with us.
fetch.
Yep.
All right, Flooded Strand gets cracked here by Yasu. After a Mishra's Bauble, there's a new Mishra's Bauble coming out. Some people are excited. Some people prefer the OG art. Some people are worried about the frames. What about the OG?
On the island cycle.
Ponder.
Okay, I have Draw Vigor.
Lots of party hats getting jammed in the chat. Thank you, everybody.
6. Draw this Vigor.
Go.
Not gonna do it.
You're turning a
So
race.
go.
Sure.
And step Brainstorm. It's happening.
Okay, this is either Hydro.
Force of Phil. Thank you for the resub with Prime. 49 months for Force of Phil. We have people in the chat jamming happy affiliate anniversaries. And Force of Phil revealing our age here. 49 months. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, because that just gave me a bunch of
We're an old Twitch channel.
straws. Yeah. Let's see.
But I figure
Washed up, maybe. I don't know.
the top of your deck has to be Hydro Blast, because even if you get a cantrip, you can't play them.
I play Force of Vigors.
Gim says Roland has inconsistent choices in his choices. Old border DRC instead of original, but original bauble instead of old border. Yeah, Roland. What's Roland's system here? Roland likes original printings in Japanese and foil. I think kind of sums it up. Has to check those 3 boxes for the most part.
Make something unblockable. So I thought if you did have Battle Masters,
Oh.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
I could have done the unblockable to get around it. But I had the dead gone anyway, so maybe I should.
Not going to see a Zendikar Expedition land in one of Roland's decks. Roland is a Japanese foil printing gamer.
Yeah, having the second one was also.
Okay, good.
All right, there's Delver of Secrets. Looks like retro Japanese foil. Is that the one from Innistrad Remastered? I honestly don't know. I don't know.
I was honest on this one. I mean,
It must be, right? Was there another retro Delver at some point that I'm forgetting about? House says beautiful deck, even with a few inconsistencies. All right, people being very, very critical right now. Everybody relax. Aviator said, saw a guy at Eternal Weekend last year who white bordered his entire deck. You know, we have a local player that does that. We've showed it on stream a few times. It is interesting. The last time I saw our white bordering friend, I said they should take one of the cards from Ither Drift with the gold border and make it white. And they were like, you know what? That's a good idea.
Require either soul lands or like a
So stay tuned, everybody.
so.
You gotta get to it.
Yeah, maybe I should play.
Do they play with lands in front? They do not. How many players at the event? So we averaged 20, 25 at this shop, at the other shop, 30, 35 maybe on a good night.
Xander's Lounge. Yep.
That is Xander's Lounge showcase version.
I mean, try the 4 colors, but this seems good. Obviously, here would have been nice having like a basic planes and ley line binding, like that would have been good. But
All right, firing off some lightning bolts. Kind of help this insectile liberation get across the finish line, maybe. Yasu down to 10 now. Taking some hits here in game 2.
yeah, I mean, around here, people are just.
No signs of up the Beanstalk yet in this game. Yasu going to fetch as insectile liberation attacks.
From the Misty.
We had the craziest games at X.
I have full domain.
Also with that,
Yeah, every game came down to like the very end.
Okay, Leyline Binding hits the stack. Yasu does have full domain. Delver of Secrets will be exiled.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
All right, so a key creature on Roland's side has now been eliminated. Time to figure out how to... Another bolt, okay. Okay, Roland fetches. Yasu has dropped down to 6. We've already used 3 bolts, so it's not like we're going to see 2 more, right?
I'll attempt to force pitch Murktide quick high.
Yasu had the force ready to go for Murktide. It is countered. Force pitching Murktide. Okay, Roland has accepted. Murktide has been countered.
And step brainstorm. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, a brainstorm now for Yasu. CK says, how many tabernacles have played at those events? We occasionally see tabernacles on stream, that's for sure.
Untap.
It's the glue that holds Legacy together. We couldn't go on without it, right?
Edge Maze trigger. Yep.
Hedge Maze, Surveil, Uro into the graveyard. There's Uro. Yeah, Roland's Lightning Bolt, as Lord points out, are altars.
Draw.
Roland has some altars in the deck. Savvy Magic players will be able to spot them. Tamiyo, once again.
Birds in 4.
If you haven't been paying close attention, that's a price of progress. Blue Elemental Blast, Pyroblast. Uh-oh, this is a fight.
Brainstorm. Yep.
This price of progress could be lethal.
Yeah. Shit.
All right, Roland takes game 2. Price of progress, triple bolt. Got there. Okay, kind of an unexpected quick ending. A thought I was in the middle of was, if you haven't been paying attention to Legacy recently, Tamiyo is a top creature in this format.
The clock stopped. Tom, do you mind?
All the fair blue decks are running that card. Or not all, but many of them.
Says on my phone.
Price of Progress 2025, still a card to watch out for.
Fine, I'm going to buy
Yasu now knows about it. Might be a little bit more careful with the land drops.
Looks like the screen just.
Does Temur Delver still play Nimble Mongoose? It does not. We don't see that card much at all. I don't think we've seen it on stream in forever.
Yeah, I pressed it. It's just
Fetch.
Yep.
All right, we're going here. Flooded Strand cracked by Yasu. Yeah, these Temur bills, like what Roland is playing, are mostly Is It Delver. There's Roland. Mostly Is It Delver, but with Questing Druid. And occasionally you'll see a sideboard green card like Carpet of Flowers or something like that. But here's Carpet of Flowers on Yasu's side. That's going to be pretty good. Carpet of Flowers is a great way to jump ahead on mana.
Plus now you have hexes running.
You're here often. Would you say like it's like a coin toss, it's empty or full? It's like it's weird. It's never like the right amount. It's either too crowded or too little.
About today, I was like, I hope it's not crowded. And
I know.
like, okay.
Yeah. Go.
All right, Yasu making land drops. They are non-basics. A long way from Price of Progress, delivering a knockout punch again here in Game 3, but Yasu's going to have to be careful of that. Roland kept the Scalding Tarn on the table. Going to be trying to not allow Yasu to jump too far ahead on mana with Carpet of Flowers. The Wasteland on Roland's side, staying back for now. I don't think we're worried about Dark Depths or Urza's Saga or any of that, but Roland might go after a more important land, a land that produces white maybe, or a Xander's Lounge or something like that. Yasu plays Mystic Sanctuary tapped, so didn't really do anything too crazy with that. Scalding Tarn now getting cracked on end step. Volcanic Island.
They have the west side has a 120.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Because back space is huge, and then they also never really let us use the front space. We never use the front space during tournament, but I'm sure you have.
There it is, folks. Seek the Beast. The Temur part of the deck is this Questing Druid. I don't know how all of you feel. Questing Druid is one of my favorite cards from recent years. Kind of paying homage to a card from Plane Shift with a very similar ability. And legacy power level. I'm a big fan. Brainstorm and Days Were Exiled.
Good draw.
Yeah. And now they're doing pretty modern events.
Players were laughing. I don't know. This is a serious tournament.
It seems like they're also, for whatever reason, pushing Pauper too, and like.
Kvyuk pointing out that Questing Druid is good in Standard. Yeah, is it good in Modern? Is it good in Pioneer? I don't know. I watched a bit of an RC. Are they called RCs? Oh, man, I sound silly. I don't even remember. But the Standard event over the weekend, Standard looking pretty cool.
It has like a healthy turnout for sure.
I think it's just like you're trying to play pauper and paper, it's not like you're flush with options.
Yeah.
Much like Delver of Secrets from Under the Floorboard pointing out that they're slightly surprised to see he's playing Legacy, talking about Questing Druid. Much like Delver of Secrets, there are cards that just kind of click in Legacy. They just fit perfectly. Even if they don't really see the same amount of play in the smaller formats.
Well, that's Dark Ritual brings alarm block.
Supporting cast makes them look really good in Legacy.
I'd rather just like play Cube or something else.
Yeah, Roland's deck has a bunch of altars. No proxies. No proxies in these events. Palm with a great question. Is Hull Breacher still relevant? It is still relevant, but it is a lower relevance card at this point, Hull Breacher.
This is so cool. I'm gonna play a second league.
Carpet
My
trigger
phone
for
like
2.
rock me turn 1, like Lotus Recon. I'm like, okay. And I'll play a third. My computer's going out the window.
I don't think I've played against a Hull Breacher in months. But it's still out there.
Often, I think I told you before once.
I mean, it's very anecdotal. That's my personal experience. Uro hits the stack. This card caused a concession in game 1. Roland might be better prepared for it post sideboard.
Both for and against you.
Prismatic Ending for 2, trying to hit this Questing Druid, which currently has 1 +1/+1 counter. Questing Druid over time could turn into a pretty big attacker. Going after it right away. Yeah, I think it's fair to say Hull Breacher is kind of niche in Legacy now. Force of Negation, pitching Murktide. Trying to stop Prismatic Ending on Questing Druid. That's going to resolve. Questing Druid has received its second +1/+1 counter.
Realistically, like, yeah, there is like a solid chance I make the top 16. Like, if it was a legacy event, like, yeah, I probably won't. Like, yeah, maybe there's a world that I'm solid enough, like on a run. But I can't even realistically convince myself that.
Yep.
Delve of Secrets gives Questing Druid its third +1/+1 counter. So far, Roland's still holding back that Wasteland. Attacking for 4.
You know what? I just I was like, alright, it's a vacation.
Is it going to hit the Savannah? Roland taking a look.
Great one, but like, I get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I know.
I know I'm this happy.
You get so much mana. Jesus,
I did the
go ahead.
vintage fan.
You could wasteland yourself. I'm thinking about it, but
Yasu makes a suggestion. You could Wasteland yourself. Roland worried about how much mana Yasu has access to right now. Roland just keeping the Wasteland for now.
So many tournaments though, like the destination, I just don't care about. Like,
Savannah, Volk, Trop, missing black mana, but there isn't really, at least usually in these Beanstalk decks, there isn't really anything to do with black mana other than use it for domain. Yeah, Carpet can be kind of insane.
using the 2
But she's doing a summer gig, so she would
Leyline Binding.
deep into the heart of Oklahoma. Yeah.
Gizlo arrived in the chat jamming some bagels. Bagels a big part of 90s MTG lore.
that's what I was thinking.
Every once in a while I'll get asked about that. Why are there bagels on this channel?
And OKC sucks.
Questing Druid in exile. Aquinas pointing out you can use black for Murderous Cut or cast Bowmasters. Yeah, in these particular builds, though, they tend to not have black spells. But there are Beanstalk decks that do use Murderous Cut and Bowmasters for sure. Gizlo wondering, what are the lore-accurate 90s MTG bagels? I guess a New York bagel. A New York plain bagel.
That's about as far as it goes. Yeah,
Him and Jen are splitting the cash and they just rock.
nah.
That's what he says. He's like, no, I don't want to see him walking out.
Very important part of the 90s MTG lore. Make sure you study up, everybody.
Pay your entries. I'm just like taking half of that.
Shows up the new rules. Whoa, Jen ran with the money? That's so weird.
I actually have like no kind of. Yeah, I'm just not connected to it that way.
I mean, it's an event, right? Like, she's running it. Like, how much input do you really need, right?
Or to make it a
Murktide region is hitting the stack here.
A bunch of like.
Gizlo pointing out the Montreal bagels are at least as important. You know what? To the 90s MTG lore, that's kind of true.
It's not gonna be like, you know, the tournaments here, like somebody draws an extra card and the
5/5 Murktide for Yasu.
yeah, what do I do?
SF wondering if I have a favorite bagel spot in NYC. I can't say I do, honestly. And where I live now, there are no real, like, in walking distance, great bagel spots that I'm aware of. So I've kind of, like, I don't know. I've kind of fallen off, to be honest.
So it's like from the top down, I guess. Kind of.
Brainstorm here for Roland. Aquinas not aware of Montreal bagels. Montreal, the city. It's a whole thing.
I just didn't want to do, like, I don't want to hire a judge. I don't want to do the catering or nothing. I want to do
Brainstorming here is Roland. If you listen carefully, you can hear me complaining in the background. No, I'm just telling a story. Insectile Aberration up against a 5-5 Murktide. Both players at high life totals. We're not going to see Roland, at least at this point in the game, Lightning Bolt for the win. Has a lot more damage to do.
Well, for Legacy, being like playing other Legacy events, like, it's not like, okay.
My hope though for the 4K though is that then after that, if that all goes.
Yeah, someone in the background doesn't like hiring judges. Yeah, I'm talking about hiring judges in the background, which I have never done. All right, Brazenbauer bounces Murktide. Roland puts a die on it for some reason. No sign of the On an Adventure token card. And Brazenbauer is on an adventure.
You're not paying tax, right? Anything.
Someone get Roland a Japanese On an Adventure card, please.
Bifrost, and that was, yeah, they're right to sell a cold.
So the bases and the leaders
Yeah, there's a bit of a rivalry between New York and our neighbors to the north in Quebec as far as bagels.
Bar and restaurant and like there's stuff going.
And by a bit, I mean like nobody really cares, but some people talk about it.
Yep. And Bifrost, yeah.
Leyline Binding resolves. Delver is gone. Roland can't seem to get the offense up and running in this game 3, which is, as the game goes long, could be a problem. No up the Beanstalks on Yasu's side yet, though. Which is pretty relevant. 2 cards left in Yasu's hand. Yasu's number of lands in play, though. Remember Price of Progress, everybody. Keep an eye on that. Yasu fetching here. A non-basic land could be enough for... Uh-oh. Hedge Maze. Ooh, I'm a little worried about Yasu now. Basic land dumped to the yard. Don't need that.
Pass.
6 non-basic lands. Flash in Brazenbauer. It gets swords. Okay.
Still in a turn. Yep.
Yasu's deck has plenty of removal. Also, end of turn, Roland's going to get a Volk.
Okay. 2 cards. 2 cards.
Not sure. Did Roland announce a bolt here? Yes. Okay, so a lightning bolt to the face on end step. Roland untaps. Aquinas basically declaring New York has the best bagels.
Price of Progress.
Price of Progress hits the stack. Blue Elemental Blast. Pyroblast. That is the match. Roland gets it. Price of Progress, the MVP, I would say, of this match. GG's. Watch out with your basic lands, everybody. Roland's coming. GG's. Well played.